I didn't have any friends who got me. Have you ever been there? They loved Jesus, but they didn't understand my fire, right? The dream that God put in my heart, the desire to build something bold, to do something while raising a family and honoring my faith, something that I was extremely passionate about. And for a long time, I started to believe that I was the problem. I wasn't able to connect with people because I didn't know the best way to have friends that I could just bare my soul to all the time. And if you've ever felt like that, like you didn't fit in with the Christian mom crowd or the boss babe entrepreneur crowd, you are not alone. I am that person. I've been there and I know what it feels like to make friends in that type of arena. So in this episode, we are talking about why it's so hard to find a real, relatable Christian community of friends and what to do when you're craving that connection, but keep hitting walls. Hey friend, I'm Emily. I'm a certified Christian life and business mentor, and this is the Thought Vault podcast. I'm so glad that you are here. I help Christian women build purpose-driven lives and businesses with God at the center. And if you've been feeling stuck, isolated, or like no one around you understands what the struggle is that you have right now, or the circumstance in the season that you are journeying through, I've got you. Make sure to hit subscribe so that we can stay connected and you can always be notified when new episodes drop. So let's be real. Christian community should be the place where you feel seen, where you feel supported and heard and strengthened. But so many of us walk into church, join a group, or scroll online and feel more alone than before. It seems like everybody's running this race that you're not a part of and you want to be. So why is that the case? Because often we are just performing, pretending that we're okay, giving the proverbial I'm fine when someone asks us how we're doing. I am so guilty of that because it's just easier than getting into it, right? Hiding the parts of us that feel like too much or too strong for church, for small group, too spiritual, for the world, for those that we encounter. And we crave connection, but don't feel safe enough to be our real authentic selves. And in this day and age, that is such a hard thing to manage because there is so much pretend life out there. There's so much of the pretty aesthetic life that it's hard to feel like you can be real because you're like, well, what if my house isn't as clean as hers? And how would I host a Bible study? I wouldn't want to be judged by that. So here's the thing. You can't be fully known if you're only half showing up. And that's not a guilt trip. It's just the truth that I had to face myself, and I'm imparting this wisdom to you. So Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That doesn't happen in shallow community. It happens when we find those people, those soulmates that I like to call them, that can challenge us, encourage us, and grow with us, right? Jesus didn't surround himself with perfect people. Quite the opposite, actually. He surrounded himself with those who were willing to walk in the same direction. So we're not called to fit in with everyone. We're called to link arms with the right people and the right believers who are going to understand our plot in life, the journey that we're on. So women who will remind us of the truth when the world is trying to shout lies, women who are chasing God while building their dreams, women who just get it. And there was a season where I felt spiritually parched. I had vision, idea, and a calling that I knew was from God, but no one in my life was walking that same fine path that I was. I started second guessing my dreams, shrinking back, and wondering if maybe God chose the wrong girl. Have you ever felt that way? Like, I'm not qualified to do this, Lord. But here's what I've learned. Community often starts with courage. The courage to speak up, the courage to go first, the courage to say hello, to make the follow-up call, the courage to stop pretending that we're fine and start saying, hey, I need people. And that vulnerability is the key to unlocking everything. So you're doing the work. You're showing up for your family, for your kids, for your job, for your quiet time. Maybe you're even walking toward the dream that God has planted in your heart, but still something else feels stuck. You know what I've learned in coaching Christian women for years? Most of the time, the problem isn't the plan, it's the isolation. Let's go there, okay? You can't consistently grow when you're constantly pouring out. We've heard that phrase before. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and never being poured into creates that deficit. So you can't keep saying yes to the vision if you're surrounded by people who don't even believe it's possible. And that's sometimes hard. We realize like we don't have the village that we need to feel supported, to feel loved, and to get the feedback that is truly going to help us prosper. So Proverbs 13:21 tells us, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. That hits home. And Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, two are better than one. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. How true is that? So if you're feeling stuck or unmotivated, unclear, or just spiritually dry, it might not be your discipline that's lacking. It might be your environment. Are the people around you sharpening your obedience or softening your faith? Are you walking with women who call out to the Lord for you and with you, or keep playing small? The enemy knows the power of aligned community, and that's why he tries to isolate you, convince you that you're too different, that you're too late, you're too faith-driven, you're too dream-filled, you're too weird. He'll whisper, you're the only one who thinks like this. But that is a lie. There's a generation of women who are rising up who want more than comfort, more than performance Christianity, more than self-help sound bites. They want to know God, to walk in their purpose, and to actually build something bold with clarity and accountability and courage. And the truth is, that kind of transformation rarely happens in isolation. It happens in community. You weren't created to carry your calling alone. And I know that is so hard to manage because I am such a type A person and one that likes to micromanage everything. So it's very hard for me to ask for help, to delegate things, to help me achieve the goals that I've set for myself. I want to take it all on. I want to say yes. I want to be overcommitted and stretched thin. And you know what that led me to? 2 years of straight burnout where I was a shell of myself. My business completely stopped growing. I put the podcast on hold, something that I love and I'm super passionate about, creating a community and just being out in the world. I think a lot of us came out of the pandemic just feeling very weird because we had been isolated, and I am an introvert. So naturally, it was kind of a fit for me to just be worried about my house and being home with my people and not having to like go out in the world. And it took me longer than I want to admit to reintegrate myself into the world. And that is crazy. So think about Jesus. He's always the best example to go to. He didn't walk alone. He gathered his people. He walked with them. He taught them. He prayed with them, and he sent them out together. Acts 2:42-47 paints this picture of early believers gathering daily, sharing everything in common, celebrating and growing in unity and number. That wasn't just history. It's a blueprint for revival and survival. So if you're feeling spiritually dry, emotionally depleted, or stuck in a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt, it may not be your strategy that needs adjusting. It may just be your surroundings, because what's around you shapes you. And I talk about this a lot with my coachees. What you allow to have heavy influence on your life can be seen very quickly. It's what you spend your most time doing and what you spend the most time listening to. You don't realize how much that impacts your decisions, your motivation, and your excitedness about life and about the opportunities in front of you, the choices that you make daily. But once you get an inventory of that, you can quickly eliminate, set healthy boundaries, and create margin in your day for the things that do matter to you, like building friendships and building community. When you find yourself in a room with women who are walking in the same direction toward God, toward purpose, toward obedience, something absolutely shifts. Here are 3 practical ways to make a change today. First, audit your circle. This kind of is tying into this inventory I was just speaking to. Make a list of 5 people who influence your daily thoughts and the habits that you have the most. So are they building your faith, or are they draining your vision? This was so important because I had dear people that I love so much that honestly were kind of a negative influence on me in a season where I was really taking this to account. And I had to realize like I need to set some separation there so that I can actually have the energy and the mental capacity and the emotional availability to serve those that really I needed to, and that I needed to be able to have space for to come into my life. And I wasn't having any margin for that. Step 2 would be to step into community with intention. So join a Bible study of a local women's group or a digital space like the Bold Life Collective. I'll link it below. This is my community group that is free and is chock full of Christian women who are tied to all of these positive things I'm talking about, where faith and purpose are intersecting and where we're building each other up. You don't have to wait for someone to invite you. You can go first. This online space is your oyster. The people in the comments of this video are people you can connect with, and I want to connect with you. And the third piece of advice would be to schedule spiritual connection. So block time for regular check-ins, following up with people, like making the call, even though that might feel a little bit odd or you might feel nervous about giving someone a call or sending a text message, do it anyway. Make it a rhythm to share what God's doing in your life, to check in on people, to pray with them and encourage one another. When you actively change what's around you and who is around you, you start to change what's within you. And that is bona fide fact. Take it to the bank. And that's what's happening for women in the Bold Life Collective. And that's what's waiting for you too. So if you've been looking for a room of Christian women who are building purpose-driven lives and businesses, then I created just that for you. And it is the Bold Life Collective. We are a community and a space for women that love Jesus, want more than just surviving this life, and who want to have a community, who wants to launch things, lead things, and really learn how to trust God in every single season. These pieces of advice, these 3 tips are going to help you find exactly what you're looking for and who you're looking for. So if you've been praying for your people and you're tired of doing this alone, then this is your next step. Click below and become a member of the Bold Life Collective. Start to pray over this. You're not weird. You're not too much. You're not falling behind. You're not someone who can't have the things that God has pressed in your heart to pursue. You are looking for the right people to walk with you in doing it. That's it. And that's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Go back to the verse we talked about earlier. And if this episode spoke to you, I want you to drop in the comments, I've been craving community. And if you're ready for more encouragement like this, then make sure that you watch this next video that's available to you. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you text us a message. You can find the link below in the description. And I look forward to hearing the topics or the questions that you have so we can tackle those in our next episode. Bye for now.